Hi, welcome to the class. My name is Tamina Alan and I'll be your instructor for this political science course. Today we're going to show you the type of lecture style that we're going to be using for this course, and you can decide whether or not it's going to work for you. The goal of this section is to give everyone something they can use. I know a lot of people are shopping for classes right now, so whether or not you choose to stay in this class, these things might help you organize your semester a little bit better to help you succeed. The first thing we want to talk about are calendars. We have two calendars which I want to share with you, which are both uploaded to the site. Then we want to talk about orientation and points of view. And then lastly, we'll answer the question, what is this class about and do I want to be here? We'll do that in our syllabus section, which is the next video you can watch. Organization. You have attached to the class a semester calendar. You'll see it right in the Moodle shell. It looks something like this. And what this is this is your 17 weeks of the class laid out for you on one sheet of paper. I like to use this in the front cover of a binder or taped to the wall, just so I can see everything that's going on with the semester at one glance at one time. And you can use this for all of your classes at once, to manage your work schedule, very important things like your wife's birthday, and other things you don't generally want to forget. The first thing that you want to do when you use this calendar is you want to add all of the due dates from all of your classes. So when you get a syllabus from a class, it perhaps will tell you that you have a final exam on December 11th. The first thing you want to do is write in on December 11th when that exam is, so you know that day is blocked off. There's nothing else you should be doing that day. Or for example, you have a midterm on October 16th, and you know you're going to need to study for that midterm a couple of weeks before. You can block off those boxes so that you know not to plan any wild parties for the 12th and 13th. The second thing you can do is add any dates which are of importance or interest to you. So this is where birthdays come in, if you're going to town or traveling, or if you have other projects that are important to you which you know are going to take up some time. And then lastly, you can block off time when you know you're going to be busy with other things. Now, do you have to use these? No, absolutely not. If you don't want to, you won't be hurting my feelings. The only reason I put these out there is that they are tools which I found have been useful for myself and for other students to help us conquer this semester, and so they might be something which you may be able to use this semester or going forward in your life. The second calendar is called the weekly calendar or the scheduler. And what this is instead of laying out an entire semester for you, it does the opposite. It lays out one single week, the typical week that you would be spending in school, in work, at home, with family, anything like that. And so there are a couple different ways that you can use this calendar. I'll share a couple of the ways that I've used it before with you. The first way that I've used it is you block off time for things you know you can't change. For example, you have class every day from 10 to 11, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And you know that you're going to have that chemistry class for the entire semester. So from 10 to 11, I'm going to write chemistry class in each of those boxes. Same thing with other classes, same thing with work schedules. And then from there you can see what quote-unquote free time you have. How do you schedule your free time, study time, or other time that you have? Well, here's one way that has worked for others. Flip the paper over and list your priorities on the back. Think about the different things in your life which may be important to you. Studying, spending time with family, spending time with your friends, watching the latest episode of Dancing with the Stars, whatever it may be for you. Whatever those priorities are in order, when you flip back over the scheduler, number one should be the first thing that you block off time for. If the number one thing in your life is your family, then you need to block off some time for that. If the number one thing in your life is going to church, you need to block off some time for that, etc. That's one great way to use this calendar. Another great way to use this calendar is to print out a second copy and take a survey of what you actually do with your life. What did you do between 6 and 7 a.m. on a Monday? Okay, that's a bad example because maybe you were asleep at that time. What did you do between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. on a Monday? And is that reflecting what your priorities are? Because your expertise in life and what you're going to build up really is going to be a testament to how you spend your time. So are you spending your time in a way that gets you to somewhere where you want to get in life? Speaking of time, here are a couple of ways that we use our time that you might just want to be aware of. A lot of times we use these things and we don't realize just how much time they take up. As a social experiment, take a little bit of time and figure out just how much time you spend on Facebook, or how much time you play Candy Crush Saga every day, or how much time you're on YouTube. All of these minutes and hours definitely add up. And again, like I said, if these hours are not getting you to where you want to be in life, then it might be time to reprioritize how you're going to use your time. Additionally, I point this out just because I am in a profession where we look at these things a lot. Please be sure that you understand what's going on with your online profiles and what others know about you out in the internet. The internet is a very public place, and though many people believe that they can private their different profiles and things like that, please rest assured that if we want to find you as employers especially, we will find you and we'll find out what we need to know about you. And rest assured that if your profile picture is dancing around with your booty hanging out of your pants, drinking at 3 o'clock in the morning at a club, then your employer, who may not be looking for that type of person, may believe that this type of candidate need not apply. Be sure about what your public profile is that you are putting out to the world and what all of those profiles say about you, and make sure that it's putting forth the image which you actually want to put forth and that you want everybody to see. A good rule is, if you wouldn't let your grandma see it, probably shouldn't be on the internet. So let's talk a little bit about the orientation of your instructor. Now, why is this important at all? Why do you need to know about your instructor for any of the classes at all? Well, first off, you're going to be spending a lot of time either with this person or, in my case, hearing this person talk. So you probably want to know a little bit about who you're listening to. One reason you'd want to know this is because maybe there's something your instructor has done in their lives which is of interest to you, or which can help you later on. For example, in my lifetime, I have been a criminal defense attorney. I've been a redistricting analyst, and I've done GIS work. Maybe you want to get into one of those types of areas. Maybe that's something that you want to speak with your instructor about. Also, it's good to know which point of view you're dealing with when you're listening to someone's view of what a class may be. So that being said, I'll tell you just a very little bit about myself. As I mentioned, my name is Tamina Alan. I am a Filipino-Puerto Rican from Guam. I am currently working as, aside from being your instructor this semester, I am a staff attorney at Bay Area Legal Aid, where I practice poverty law. So a lot of what you're going to hear from me is going to be reflected from my years of service as an attorney and working in this field. Like I said, I've also worked in other areas of law as well, and I've done voting rights and redistricting with California in this past round. What else can I tell you about myself? I play guitar for my church's worship band. I have 2 teenage sons who drive me crazy on a regular basis. I own a cat who thinks that she runs the world, and I am declined to state voter, which means that I am not a registered Republican nor registered Democrat. But either way, I think that the Colbert Report is sometimes amusing. I like to read a lot and generally tend to read the classics. Now, what does that tell you about me? That may tell you a lot, or that may tell you a little bit, but there may be something that you latched onto there which opened up a door in your mind, maybe for a follow-up question. Maybe you're interested in doing some sort of housing law work and poverty law, and that's something you ask me about. Or maybe you're from the islands and you feel an affinity there. Or maybe you just understand that I've done some work that you've been interested in, and that's something you want to ask about. And maybe not. Maybe all this can do is help you understand the person who you're going to be hearing from for the whole semester. And in and of itself is a good thing. So while we're at it, we'll talk about points of view. There are many different points of view for any given thing that you're going to see. If we all are outside on the street, right on Fallon over there in Oakland, and we witness a car crash, then there would be as many number of us as there are points of view of how this happened and what it looked like. There will be 50 different stories of what exactly happened. And so, how does that change the way that we're to look at things? Whenever you're looking at your textbook, an instructor, a syllabus, your college, a news report, or someone in a bar who's talking to you, they're coming at things from their particular point of view. Does that make your point of view wrong? Absolutely not. You may have seen the exact same thing. It's just one person's view of telling the story. Keeping the Republic, the textbook which we'll be using for this class, if you're Poli-Sci 1, for example, is going to be written by Christine Barfour and Gerald Wright. That will be their view of how keeping the Republic and how the American system of government works. If you're taking a different political science class and you have a different book, then you have that instructor who has written that book, and they're going to have all of their baggage from their life and all their experiences put behind how they see the world and how they write. This is a wonderful thing. Now, I don't want you to worry about it if you're disagreeing with things that I say or with things that you read in the book. That's very healthy. That's a great thing. That means you're seeing different points of view than what you've previously seen. However, I want to challenge you that if you are coming across lectures and books all throughout your life and throughout your course of study where you are agreeing with everything that you are reading, then I challenge you to find something from a different point of view that you do not agree with, to see how someone else is seeing the exact same picture so that you get a fuller understanding of the topic at hand. That being said, let's understand how we as this class are going to attack this topic by looking at our syllabus. So please access the second video to understand more about the syllabus for your class.